Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Throwback Thursday where Steven and I wade through the rules of a 90s collectible card game. This is the Highlander trading card game, or actually Highlander the card game. Originally published in, I think, 96. And the publisher changed several times throughout its history, which is wild. I can't wait to show you this. I don't think either of us are super familiar with Highlander. All I know is there can only be one.
There can be only one.
Yeah.
And then you chop the head off, and that's
how you win.
I know that's the idea. Yeah, that's the idea.
So, yeah, you're gonna add something.
I was gonna get a little disclaimer for anybody watching this. We are not going to show you the pristine rules of the game.
Welcome to Throwback Thursday.
Throwback Thursday is a little more wild than that. This is us cracking into something as if we were in 1996, taking a look at it for the first time, and making our way through the rule book and the rules, and then coming out the other side knowing mainly how to play the game. But some people watch these and they're like, this was the worst tutorial ever. And it's like,
it's not a tutorial.
Not a tutorial.
Yeah.
This is just us experiencing 96 full tilt.
And if you would like to experience that, you're in the right spot.
That's right. So let's do it together. Huh?
I have
These are beautiful, right?
I have a couple limited edition. You want to go top down? You got to see this. These are limited edition collector's tins. And just like you would if you walked into a random store and found these, there's one sticker on the front of this one that says for $34.99.
Yeah, great.
On the back, it has from Duncan Collection, $99.95.
Oh, wow. So it was marked down, maybe?
So I have no idea if it was marked up or marked down.
Okay.
Or marked left or marked right. I don't know the value of these at all.
Yeah.
I just know that we have them and we're going to play. We're going to open them. I want you to open this and experience this because I opened it for the first time. And
it's so light. Like there's nothing in here, right? Is that what I'm going to find out?
Oh, there's stuff.
What's up, expired multipass? Yeah, how's everybody doing in the chat here? Hey, it's Thursday. We're almost a Friday there. I'm going to New Orleans for my anniversry, my wedding anniversary.
It is kind of a Friday. You leaving tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm leaving tomorrow afternoon. Yeah.
Look at this thing. Barnyard, man.
It's just this.
You get the 10 to store it in, though.
Wait, store this in?
Show up to a tournament with your fab deck in this, please.
That's so good. Look at that. Okay, well, hey, presentation's everything. Is there a lot of, was this the Highlander theme?
I don't know.
I think this is just kind of a nice thing. I'm glad to know in 96 they were worried about shelf presence. Just the same as today.
I mean, this collector's tin would look good on a shelf, right?
And then you open it and you're like, okay, one deck. Now this could technically have been shipped for a lot less than this tin.
Yeah, but why?
But
Look
why?
At this. Why? I got the dust all over mine. Hold on, I'm gonna get a vacuum now.
Maybe this is only for the collector's edition. Maybe the normal ones were just...
So I'm gonna pull my deck out of the box and then put my 10 away. Yeah, that's how it would go. So you go to Nolans and you leave tomorrow afternoon. I was wondering if we'd run into each other in the airport because I am going to Cincinnati.
Mm-hmm.
But I am on the early train, 6:30 a.m. flight.
Yeah, I'm like 3 o'clock.
Waking up at 3-something in the morning. Look at this, the sticker to seal. Definitely not doing its job.
No, yeah. And you got it resealed when they took all the rares out of there.
Look at the templating on that one. We're in for a treat, man.
Yeah, I'm excited about this one. Let me lay a card.
Now you'll notice.
Make sure our focus is. Oh my gosh, this is insane.
Well, you'll notice.
This is insane. Okay, so this is probably the weirdest one for sure already.
You'll notice.
It's also almost unreadable.
I don't even know what I was gonna say.
This is hilarious.
Notice nothing. No.
Let me make sure the focus is right. Make sure everybody can at least have a better shot at seeing these than I do. I think it's actually spot on. Yeah, it's spot on. Okay, what's up?
All right.
Inspire Multipass here saying the more complex the rules, the best.
So what's this?
Likes to see the struggle.
What's that say? What's that text say?
Hold on. Let me. I pulled. That was maybe the. I don't know where that was in the grand scheme of this deck.
This says play this card before the game begins. This card represents your watcher, and you may only have one such card in play. Your watcher is Adam Pearson.
So I've got 3 Mythos cards. 2 of them appear to be identical. One of them is with sword, so that seems good. All of them say play this card before the game begins in conjunction with the Mythos Persona card.
Oh.
Your master cards cannot be countered or removed from the game. This card modifies your Persona card and may not be removed from the game. So I am basically
You're this character.
Mythos.
You're this character.
This is my Persona.
Yep.
Okay. Play this card. This card represents your Watcher. That's not a persona. And then I think I have this one that may be in conjunction with the Methos persona card. Okay, so these are 3 versions of Methos that all do different things that I immediately can choose from.
And I think that's like a style, because this is character on that card, right?
Okay. Yeah, maybe. Does it say persona there? Pearson? Maybe assigned to Methos. That says Watcher, your opponent must discard a special card to play a Watcher card. So already we're kind of getting into this. We're already off the rails here. Already off the rails. Your Massacres cannot be countered.
The Master card is really funny.
This card modifies your persona. I'm going to play Methos. Only Adam Pearson can be assigned as your Watcher. Okay, this seems like these guys go together then. I'm Adam Pearson here. Methos, Adam Pearson. So if we were familiar with the movies, would this be making sense currently?
No.
Like, does Adam Pearson is obviously in the film or films?
Yes, there's basically characters that are what are they called? Watchers, maybe?
Methos or Watchers looks like are a pretty good idea there.
And they're trying to kill each other.
Okay, this
cutting
is
each other's
simple.
heads off.
Actually, I see this. Yeah, I see this.
Yeah, it's not that wild.
So it's one of those play games or play cards to signify the moves that you're making kind of thing?
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Yeah.
So we're fighting, right? A lot of times we're dueling. And it's not supposed to be like a single duel necessarily. It's a duel across time and space. You see?
Okay, yeah.
So we've been fighting for a long time. So I've got this Duncan McLeod card.
Did you have multiple Methos to choose from as well?
No, but I have 2. I'll read this to you real quick. You ready for this?
Yeah.
All right. So mine says, born in 1592 in the Highlands of Scotland, this foundling baby was taken in and raised as a chieftain's son until he was killed in battle in 1622. But he didn't stay dead. First trained by fellow clansman Connor McLeod, Duncan has all of the fun and most of the good women. He fights with a carved dragon head katana bequeathed to him by a samurai in 1778. You may attack. We'll get to that in a second. Same story. It says, play this card before the game begins in conjunction with the Duncan McLeod persona card. You may use up to 2 additional pregame cards before the normal restriction of pregame cards. This card modifies your persona card and may not be removed from the game.
It's kind of, yeah, so already in deck building you see how you could have weird combinations of things to make it, it work. What I'm kind of tripping up about is it says this box contains a 52 card starter deck and rules. Did you get rules in yours?
I did not get rules. No.
Are they in the tin?
There are no rules.
There were no rules in these. Did they come open or anything? Or?
No. You just saw me open mine right here, right now. I had to open to verify.
No rules in your hay? Okay.
No, just hay.
Well, so they intended for there to be rules in there, but it seems like they didn't get in there.
Perhaps it was a production thing. I have the rules over here if you'd like a link.
Well, great. No, I'd like to just ride or die on this one with your interpretation of the rules.
Okay. So I'm going to run you down some basics really quick so you can understand the cards, and then we'll work our way right through
let's
this.
see. What's the fundamental thing? We're just trying to exchange health or what?
Can you grab some D20s?
Yeah.
You have those floating
I got
around?
20s.
So we each start with 15 ability, 15 endurance, pardon me.
Okay.
And the goal is to get your opponent's endurance to 0. Although, if you can manage to cut off their head, you automatically win.
Okay, cool.
Right?
So kill the king.
There is that. So you're going to have a D20 on 15 here. And when you run out of deck, so like when you're playing, you lose 5 endurance.
Okay.
And then you reshuffle your deck. So you can only burn through your deck so many times before you're just out of the game. Also, this number is your ability. And it represents your maximum hand size.
No way.
So as you take damage, your maximum hand size gets smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. Right?
Okay. Cool.
So you start the game with 15 ability. Your hand limit equals your ability. You win by reducing your opponent's ability to 0 or landing a headshot to cut off their head. If your opponent cannot defend a headshot, which is modified upper attack, we'll get to that in a second, you win automatically.
It's going to be easier to see. So there's always the Yahoo headshot situation.
Yahoo, indeed.
Yeah. Okay.
Now there should be, let me find.
So you're at 15, I'm at 15. You're Lebowski, I'm Lebowski.
Yeah, I'm Lebowski. Okay, so there's a couple kinds of cards I want to show you. First is an attack. So I have this Master's Headshot Specialization Duncan McLeod. That's my character. So you see his name under there. He's the only character that can play it.
Yeah.
It has that sword. That means it is unique to a character. The number is how many of those can be in the deck. Right? Okay. That's what that represents. Top left, you'll see. Let's see if we can get this card on screen. Oh, we won't see it, will we?
I think we'll see it. Yeah, I think we'll see it.
So Master's Headshot here has this. It's got this red border along the top. That makes it an attack. You also see this grid happening in the corner, and it's basically picture a nine grid, right? Like this.
9 grid, okay.
And I'm just doing this for visual representation. So like this is an upper headshot, right? This is a left upper,
okay. Yeah.
right upper,
okay,
middle, right. And like that's the different sections. But if you look at this, there's.
Yeah, we may not have some of these cards, it looks like, in the old DB.
So if you look on mine, it's basically highlighting these down here. Okay. So essentially that means that I'm attacking here. And you can block that card with, let's see what color they are.
This is something, actually.
Blue cards block, right? So let me find the blocking card.
Blue, where's the blue? What's the blue?
So it's kind of purpley blue. Like I have prime block, Duncan McLeod. And it's highlighting this entire middle section here. So that's what it would block.
Right.
Is an attack that's in that zone.
Okay, so like I've got this dodge card.
Yep.
So that blocks everything, right?
Yeah, it dodges the whole thing.
Okay.
So green, what's that card? What's it called?
Dodge.
Just straight up dodge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's a bunch of different versions of this, probably based on the deck theater.
Yeah. And then there's also orange, which I don't seem to have any, and those are special attacks. That's what this might be. It's a special, like, headshot attack. No, I found it. Like Killer Precision. It's got this orange background behind the box. This attack cannot be blocked or dodged. This attack does 3 damage if successful and cannot be a power blow. You have no code. No, oh, that's a quote. I was like, what is that?
Yeah.
What does it mean? Okay. So now let me give you just the basics of the actual. Oh, those cards I was looking for might also be in here. I didn't realize that my cards were down here. Yeah, there's some oranges specifically. Okay, so the main things are there's attacks, there's special attacks which are orange, there's blocks that are blue, and there's dodges that are green. Basic phases, and then I'll walk us through the starting game procedure. Is there's the sweep phase.
Okay.
So what that actually means is there's going to be cards that we put into play, attacks and stuff, and then they won't leave play until the start of your next turn.
Okay.
Which it's kind of a weird structure, but then it starts to make sense.
I'll believe it.
Then there's the may do / must do phase, part 2. So there are effects that happen that say you may do X or you must do Y, and that's when you resolve all those. So you don't activate during your opponent's turn. That's not how that works, right? You'll play an attack. I'll defend it on my turn. So it'll hang out. Oh. So I do my sweep phase clear.
Whoa.
I get my may do, must do's. Then I get to play a block for your attack if I have it.
Okay.
Okay, because the third phase is the defense phase. So there you can play 1 defense for each attack your opponent played. Typically, you only play 1 a turn. So I get to play my defense. Then I get to my attack phase. I play 1. And you can also, there are cards that say special on them. You only get 1 of those around.
1 special card around.
Okay. You can play those basically any point until I tell you. There's a certain point you can't play them anymore. Okay. So once you get to the ability adjustment phase, you can't play cards. That's the last thing of the turn. Well, the second to last. And that's where attacks actually resolve.
Okay.
So
I get that.
Your attacks are basically resolving after I've had a chance to block them. And if I don't block them, then they do their damage. A default is 2 damage per attack unless it says otherwise.
Okay. Easy.
Then we get to the draw discard phase. You have to discard down to your maximum, your ability.
Yeah.
Or you can draw up to your maximum. You draw 1 at a time and you can stop at any point.
So, okay.
So if you don't want to deck yourself and take 5 damage, you could stop drawing, right? But then that obviously gets precarious because the less options you have in your hand, you might not have a block for whatever they're sending.
Okay. All right.
And then we return all the way back to the top, right, to the other player. Sweep phase. We'll sweep anything out. Like if you successfully blocked my attack, I'll clear it. Your block would still just sit there. You get to your sweep phase, you're going to clear out your attacks and blocks, and it's like this whole cycle thing.
Okay.
So,
all right. So the first game, we're definitely going to ignore all of this stuff, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm not going to pay attention to that at all.
Yeah. So I'm This is crazy.
Yeah.
Where my crew at on chat there? Who's out there? Who's ready for a little Highlander?
Gyron says,
I want to see how.
I don't have most of these cards, but seemingly a player of the game.
Yeah, could be. Could be the case. Anybody play this out there in the chat? Anybody remember playing Highlander? It's always nice when somebody out there has a distant memory of at least how it kind of went, so that I can call on somebody in case I get lost.
Yeah.
Confused. We just shuffle these guys up, draw.
So the beginning of procedure is.
Got it. I'll switch over to YouTube. Looks like we were missing all your chats there, guys.
The beginning of the game procedure is pretty wild. So you have to remember, this is 1996. This is pre-tournament regulations. We just recorded a podcast about events. It's like the Wild West of how this stuff goes back then, right?
Yeah.
Even by the time I was running those events at the movie barn, it was like 2004. So like, there's at least the internet and like some idea of how this is supposed to go. But check this out. So you shuffle your deck, and then each player names a gem type. So there's a handful of different gem types. Like this purple on this focus strike is empathy.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And what we're going to do is we're going to draw... Where is that?
I was missing a ton of chats here, guys. This is really
cool.
cool.
That's awesome. Good.
Yeah.
I was like, man, they're being really quiet
out
today.
in the wild here. Okay, so let me just catch you. Joe says these characters are all from the 90s TV show. Tabletop Royale says this is going to be a wild one to figure out. Zach McGaw says Immortals are assigned a Watcher. Methos was being a sneaky sneak and infiltrated the Watchers as Adam so he could keep tabs on other Immortals and protect himself. So a little bit of... lore there. Mike McFarlane was one of the original play touchers on this back in the day. Haven't seen it in forever.
That's really helpful to have those kind of people around.
Justin Calumet said going through some major SWCCG withdrawals. Joe
it's coming soon.
Also, it's not McLeod apparently. It's McLeod. Did we have a McLeod? Duncan McLeod, apparently.
All right,
it's from the show and stuff.
Man, it's going to drive some people crazy that I didn't know how to say that.
Now we're going to get to one of my absolute favorite things to fully come to terms with these throwbacks. Apparently, this is not actually a starter deck.
Really?
Yeah. So, apparently, darker colors the area. It doesn't block also. Joe said those packs don't actually come with the basic attacks and blocks. So...
That'll be fun.
You know, it says... How did anybody ever play a game in the 90s?
So the highlighted blocks are what it doesn't block? Or does block?
Box contains a 52-card starter deck and the rules. So, did you get bamboozled here? Like, did you buy the deluxe tin and it had swapped it out with, like, advanced cards?
I mean, how do you call it a 52-card starter deck if it's not a starter deck?
It says it right there in the box, doesn't it?
This is why we're here.
And did somebody take all the starter cards, the really high-dollar starter cards out and put the expensive cards in?
It was super sealed.
Okay, hold on. Miss Marcus says, still have the cards. Joe said, I have tons of cards.
Joe Solo? Is that who it is?
Maybe. It just says Joe, you know. The gems are from 2nd edition. These are 1st edition cards, FYI. So good luck there. And then Drew said there's a Highlander TCG. I feel like I need to stop being surprised by this stuff each time. I'll see y'all next week for the Dark Crystal TCG or the Downton Abbey TCG.
I would totally play a Downton Abbey like staff drama mystery game, unquestionably.
So Joe says these were actually a special gift set that were packed in the starter deck box. We've had a couple of tough runs with Throwback land these days.
So
can we play the game?
How unplayable is it?
We can play this. So I'll tell you what we could do is we could have the basic attacks and blocks. We could just proxy them if we needed to. Or maybe we just go. Because are you noticing, so like when you're looking at your cards, there aren't actually attacks in here, are there?
I think... Well, I don't know. The headshot non-attack? That's the
kind of
red
a
one.
special
That's probably
one,
the
right?
one attack I have in here.
Yeah.
This is the orange, like
I think
Hummel.
all the rest of these seem like dodges and events to me. So
Funkula is saying, oh no.
maybe what we should do is let's proxy some attacks and blocks in here.
I mean, how many are we talking?
How could you even do that, right? But I feel like if we shuffle up and play this game, as funny as that would be,
It's not going to be
I don't
fun.
think it actually would function. So
It felt like a deck, though.
well, it is a deck. I mean, it's built as a 52 card deck. It's just apparently they put them in the old boxes. It's not actually that at all.
That's so unfortunate.
Can you imagine if Joe wasn't here to tell us that?
So
We would have been so utterly confused trying to play this game.
I'll tell you.
It'd be rage all over again, man.
I'll tell you what I think we should do. I think we should not just randomly play this game, because that's crazy.
Yeah,
I would rather actually give this game a shot.
Yeah, let's try it.
So not like this
Not like
stack,
this.
but I want to see if I can find someone that has decks.
Why isn't this stream dedicated to you getting on eBay and seeing if you can find actual starter decks?
I can also look at that. But even then, I'm getting less and less interested in experiencing 90 CCGs as the random starters.
Yeah, it's true.
Because I have a feeling, though, if this was allowed, then who knows what's allowed.
Sometimes the actual decks are even worse, though, too, right? Like, sometimes it's really bad.
Just saying you need 12 basic blocks and 9... I think you need 12 basic attacks and 9 basic blocks at least.
Okay. I might get a crazy hair to do it. Hold on a second. Let me see what this would actually look like. We're here.
But how do you know? It's not just like basic attack.
We're gonna draw it. We're gonna draw it. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab some paper in a true 90s fashion.
What's a basic attack look like?
What we're gonna do is I'm gonna look up what a basic attack looks like. And see, I'll bet Jonathan got the starter images, and that's why we didn't have any of the images for this stuff, because it wasn't actually in the starter decks. Absolutely crazy. So let me just look up, see if I can find it. You gotta entertain the people though, meantime.
Anyone got any questions?
Here, I'll even zoom out for you. Wow. See, like, look, he's got a basic attack pulled up right there.
Yeah,
hold on, let me look at that on the monitor.
It's the grid. I assume it's like literally it attacks in one of the 9 spots.
And then maybe there's one in all 3. So there's an upper left attack, there's an upper mid attack, right?
Yeah.
That's 9 attacks right there. Upper right, yeah. Okay. Are there any all across, John? Any other?
What about the defense cards? Because I assume block cards block more than one specific spot.
Okay, lower center, easy. Okay, so I'm just gonna draw a box with the correct box. Great. Jonathan, any other attacks that aren't just one box attacks that you can pull up for us?
Alex, I will. I'm planning on playing draft in Cincinnati on Friday. I need to practice that some more. Tales of Aria. Have a lot of people plan to hang out and draft Friday afternoon.
Okay, I think all of those attacks are that. We've got a popcorn maker of attacks going on here, just popping them up. All right, we'll do it live. In the middle attack, the devastating middle attack. Wait, hold on. That looks important. Hold that up, Jonathan. Wait a second.
It's got text on it.
What does that say? That may be like a headshot. Go ahead, do 1 damage. This attack me.
Robert Wood, I have a question. Can you just pack up and play Champions instead?
But maybe dodged.
Blank wants to know, can you draw me as Duncan MacLeod on these cards? Joe saying he has tons of basic attacks and blocks he could send. It's going to be hard to get in here in the next 20 minutes.
I at least want to see what...
right time, yeah, we did play Versus. There's a throwback to that. Just search Covenant versus TCG on YouTube and you'll probably get there.
Covenant versus TCG? Sounds like a...
Funkula's saying, all right, let me say this. Marvel Champions is great and all, but I miss Arkham really bad. I know you can't get images for Innsmouth.
We just got them.
There it is. You cut me short. I didn't even get to the other question.
We just got the images.
Man, it told me to entertain the people and just
we got the images we had to find it in that FFG app, the weird QR code thing that they do. We were able to find it.
Expired Multipass says, this is my first time watching you guys live, and I think I picked a good one.
Yeah, great job. Expired Multi.
And then he says, there can be only one.
maybe the weirdest one yet.
We're gonna need sleeves, aren't you?
Yep.
Oh,
Look at this.
Oh my goodness, he's so prepared, and you know what I needed?
I'm like the mom of this stream, man.
I needed your determination here today. I
Well,
would have collapsed right on
it's
everything.
It'll be on the review, right? Hey Joe, can you tell me what a block card looks like? Or
Blocks are typically blank. It's just a matter of how many squares they block. That's the only thing I don't know.
So if there's 9 block cards, it's probably 1 for each square, right?
Yeah,
Or is it the stripes?
I think a lot of the blocks have, like, there'll be a corner or there'll be a line across.
Because otherwise, how in the world would you ever guess the one thing your opponent just... Oh, you get to see it. You don't guess at all.
Yeah.
So it just happens, right?
Greedy saying Steven the mom woolly.
Yeah. I wish that's what I would have been on stream for Fab.
John says he's got it pulled up. Yeah, look at this one.
All right, hold on,
It's a-
John.
it's
Let
the
me.
whole-
I gotta go up there and look at the monitor.
It'll blow
One
your
second.
mind.
So I'm gonna do 12 attacks, and I'm gonna give 3 random. Now it makes me think there's one attack that's like a sweep low, sweep mid, and sweep high.
Could be. Doesn't really matter, does it?
We could certainly make that card.
Literally, we're bringing the Highlander TCG back. We're designing it live.
This is actually a very. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, good luck.
Upper right. Okay, keep going through these. Can you go through these, John? Upper right, upper center, upper left, lower right, lower center, lower left. Yeah. So that's 6. And then is there strips all across? Yeah. Low center, mid center, high center, probably.
How is MAC capital LEOD McLeod?
Okay, I've got it.
Can you tell me that?
Is this so much of a hidden attack? Some great. Yeah. Okay.
Also, I'm gonna be honest. This looks like Tommy from Power Rangers.
Hilarious.
Duncan, are you the White Ranger actually? Sleeping Bloom says I'm all about this.
9 boxes, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay. So these are going to be our attacks. You love to see it. Draw that 3x3 grid. Okay. Attack there. There's another one. See, look, this is... We may as well start a publishing company with this level of
Jeff
efficiency.
says a deck requires 1 of each basic attack and 1 of each basic block.
Cool. And did we decide what... I know the 9 basic attacks are in the different boxes, right?
Do we know what the 9 basic blocks are?
Well, more specifically, he said there's 12 attacks. So what are the other 3 attacks?
Why don't we just have the 9?
Okay, we'll just have the 9. We can make our decks smaller if we need to, probably.
Paul says, things I should be doing. Packing for Cincinnati. Things I am doing. Looking to see if I have that old Highlander sealed deck that I picked up randomly.
What's up? Paul going to Cincinnati, all right.
How many card decks for these typically? Like, do I play all 52 of these, or should I just put the proxies on top of some of them randomly?
There's a 52 card starter, so you know that they meant business there.
I believe nothing.
Yeah.
Tired of getting dunked on by the 90s.
Isn't that really what this series is about? This is, you know, the kids don't get it, man.
They didn't have to work
They
this
didn't
hard.
have to do this.
Can you imagine my
They get on
mom,
their
let's say my mom,
Apsies and their
she
phonesies.
knows I love Highlander, because all 8-year-olds watch Highlander, right?
Of course, yeah.
And she's like, oh, look, there's just a starter for this game you might enjoy. And then she buys it for me.
A deluxe tin, maybe at $100.
Oof. Then I get it. I try to play. I can't. I'm out. Never play tabletop
You
games
never
ever
watch
again.
Highlander ever again. And that's the ball game.
Joe's saying apparently there are attacks like slashes and stuff too.
Yeah. Sorry, late to the stream. What's up, Keith? Is Mad Titan coming out this week? When is Mad Titan? It's
Next week.
Next Friday is release date of that?
Should ship next week if you're a subscriber.
Now, who knows if Asmodee tells you that, but that's what they told us.
Until it's in our hand.
Is the release date.
Until it's in your hands, really nothing's for sure. As sad as that is. As much as we've tried to make that not true.
Jonathan, do you have a slash card? Can you find a slash attack if there is one? I just need to see. I just have to believe it's all across all 3 boxes and they're like super strong. wouldn't this be hilarious as like, this is actually all just a front for our next PvP launch of Highlander?
2.0.
Okay. There is no middle row block, says Daniel. Wow. Wow. Okay. Okay, so I did that one. So that's your attacks. I'm going to do my attacks now.
But we also need the blocks, right?
We'll do the blocks. We'll get the blocks.
I'm just going to put them in front of random cards in the stack.
Okay.
That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, sure. Okay, no card by the name of Slash. All right. Do a 9 and 9, and then fill in the rest with random cards.
I literally sleeve the deck. I shuffle it, and I'm putting them in the top cards.
Okay.
So I don't know what cards I'm replacing.
Okay.
Or what that's going to leave us with, but here we are.
4.
And we will do
5,
our best.
6. Look at me, arts and crafts. I can't cut a straight line, you know?
That's okay.
Did
that's a talent that isn't going to harm me mostly.
Wizzy, I know, right?
Except for those like tax forms where like, do not cut below this line.
Yeah, going to jail. Was Queen the soundtrack to Highlander? Is that what you guys are saying?
No idea. Queen's awesome though.
Yeah.
Did you see the?
Didn't. No, really need to.
Now I have a thing to ask you about. Bohemian Rhapsody, right? That's what it's called.
Yeah, it seems right.
What's his name? The actor from Mr. Robot?
Rami Malek?
Yeah. Phenomenal.
Yeah, he's really, really good.
Yeah, that's phenomenal. Also the guy that did Elton John. Was he the guy from Hunger Games? These are things you're just going to be
I'm not a
told.
Hunger Games guy.
It was a great series of movies. Actually, it was a great book.
Yeah, I've heard that for sure.
If you're into like, I don't know how you'd even frame it.
I'm going to start reading the Twins trilogy from Dragonlance per that recommendation on stream the other day.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm excited to hear how that progresses.
I'm ready to get back into that like old-fashioned fantasy.
What up, Dylan?
The nostalgia pulls harder as you get older. Did you ever notice that? Like, I'm all in on nostalgia. I love it. And it's not even nostalgia. It's just like, listen, at this point, I like what I like. And I'm open to new things, and I love new things as well, but I also like what I like. And I like wrestling and Tannis half-elven and that old-school fantasy vibe. Big worlds, role-playing games, basically, in a book. Tax. It's good stuff. Sturm.
What's a Sturm?
Sacrificing himself for the good of the party.
What's a Sturm?
He was a knight in the original trilogy.
Hmm.
Dragons of Autumn, Twilight, or what have you. Your folks would have loved you reading those earlier in your life.
Not a chance. But what I was allowed to do at the ripe old age of 9 is watch professional wrestling.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah,
That was my
cool.
role-playing game.
Yeah, it really explains a lot, honestly.
Yeah. I've been watching old wrestling videos lately, and it's where the wrestlers from back in the day are actually talking about what was really going on.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty.
Was it a lot
wild.
of drugs?
Probably.
Yeah, they didn't talk about that though. I
man,
always kind of got the sense that it was pretty.
Were you a
dark.
Hitman Hart guy? I feel like you liked Brett for some
I
reason.
mean, yes.
He has a devastating story.
I was. I mean, I think I definitely appreciated when he was like kind of the hero of the moment. Didn't he like suplex somebody important or something?
That was Hulk Hogan.
A lot of people.
The giant.
What was that one that I showed you? Walked out and suplexed somebody, and then we got
Lex
the video
Luger?
taken off. Yeah.
Lex Luger, that was fun.
Was that Lex
Yeah.
that did that?
He was involved.
And suplex, like, who was the really big, kind of like Hawaiian wrestler, I believe?
forget.
He was in the style of that, you know?
Was it Joe? Like Samoan Joe or something?
I'll tell you, the guy that suplexed him was like a nobody, like Sean something, like it was a basic name. It meant
It wasn't
nothing.
like Chris Benoit or something?
No, not Chris. That's a tragedy too, but
Yeah.
um,
So those are your attacks. Let me sleeve you. Do you have your deck somewhere? Is this your deck?
yeah, that can be my deck for sure.
Okay, can be.
Okay, and then we've
Feels
got
about right.
3,
Feels right.
4, 5, 6. All right, I've got to get my attacks or my blocks here.
But yeah, I'm watching like weird wrestling documentaries. I started watching one on YouTube, and they just keep showing them to you.
Did you ever watch that Glow one?
The show?
The women's
I
of
sure
wrestling
did.
or whatever?
Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling.
How was that?
I thought it was very well done.
Was that a fictional thing?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it was based on real things, but it was definitely fictional.
Shawn Michaels, that's right. Keith is on it. Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels just rolled in like a helicopter and the American flag or whatever, and got our video taken off of YouTube.
That's right.
That was in the early days, man. We were streaming without rules at that point.
Early pandemic.
We were just sharing screens and watching YouTube videos together.
Yeah, that was pretty wild. Pretty wild times.
Turns out there's some copyright issues with that.
Weird. Why would they ever?
I don't know why they don't like fun.
Yeah.
There at YouTube.
We were having a great time. I wish we could do that more, actually.
Yeah.
Just commentate on old wrestling matches would be hilarious.
Isn't that, how do those React videos not get taken down?
You can use clips.
Well, we did use a clip. It's a long one, but... Is it because we showed it full screen, maybe?
I don't know. There's weird rules, and then if you get taken down, you can fight it if it's fair use.
Well, I don't know how fair it was. We had a great time with it.
Well, it's not like we were just streaming that.
Right. Yeah, we were. It was in the middle of like a raw deal stream, wasn't it? See, that seems pretty fair use to me, honestly.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, 9 blocks apiece, so I need 18 papers. We'll probably be in a block heavy game here if we're only supposed to have.
This is wild.
Well, this is what we'd have to do.
Luckily, back in the non-internet days, it wouldn't have mattered.
We wouldn't have known anything. We just played these decks and been like, oh, Highlander's awful.
Yeah. Luckily, this game is supposed to be relatively quick.
Heard that before.
All right, I'm gonna shuffle and I'm gonna do the same replacement method for your stuff, which is random.
Okay. Block. Okay. Look, I think that's gonna be that's acceptable block. I'm gonna do all of these in like one.
Ooh, Christopher's saying only 6 basic blocks.
Only 6 basic blocks, right? Top right, top left, bottom right, middle bottom, middle top, maybe like.
Don't know.
We're playing a version of Highlander, that's for sure.
See you, Sean. Saying depart now for the calling. 4-hour solo drive away. Have a great stream. Best of luck.
Good luck. Good luck.
Hey, say hello when you're there.
Make good trades.
Make friends. Be nice. It's like, you're a mom. You're the stream mom.
I'm the stream mom today.
You've adopted a new nickname.
I've ascended.
Steven the stream mom.
Definitely didn't think that's where I was going with my persona on camera.
I mean, it started, the more I think about it, the more it's really checking out.
Always been a mom at heart.
You have that mom heart. Whatever that means.
Okay, there's 2 more blocks for us. Yeah, Lion O'Day, bringing the reality here. Learned a valuable lesson today. Don't label something a starter deck unless it's a starter deck. This is if there's one lesson we can learn.
We'll have to do a podcast on that next week.
About 96.
Really make sure it's clear.
60-second podcast there, don't we?
Hey, put something in the box for what it's actually called.
It's like, well, we just had these boxes, so we're gonna totally punk some streamers in the we're in the 2000s now. Lord. What is it, 2021 now? Yikes.
Mike's saying I think the blocks are for the 4 corners, middle, top, all the way to the bottom, middle left, all the way to right. So you can basically it covers the entire square.
Okay, the top to bottom, middle, top to bottom, and then so it's like a 2 crosses as well? Okay, yeah. Cool. Thanks.
We on it. We're about to be Highlanded now.
Well, there can be only one video of this. maybe we'll come around. You know, at a certain point we're gonna have to, right? Come back to the games we liked most. Play some more BattleTech. I'll play some more BattleTech.
I got that 7C ready to go.
Did you see the new 7C from Pinebox? So
let me tell you.
That's kind of weird, huh?
I saw it. I clicked it. I saw that boats weren't involved. And then my interest went to the floor.
Yeah, I feel like that's how most people went with that. I think it's a branding, kind of branding question.
I get there's like an RPG in a universe that you're setting a game in.
Yeah.
But to me, at least just from my very limited experience with the brand, when I think 7th Sea, I think ships and pirates.
Yeah, it's got to be ships, right?
And that's why I'm there.
But it does sound like it might be a very interesting game.
I will be happy to play it.
What apparently is the case is like the rights to the role-playing stuff are now Pinebox now like kind of is the main licenser there. So they're wanting to kind of reboot the idea of this is 7th Sea game world that is coming from the RPG. And so I think they might not be able to even do the same thing that AEG did because of, I don't know, reasons. I don't know, though. I'm speaking completely out of turn. So we're going to do the cross block, right?
Yeah. Makes sense.
The blocks are 4 corners and top row plus bottom row. Okay, so there's no middle row block. That's what we're saying? I think that's right. Yeah, okay, everyone's saying yes to that, so that seems good. So we'll do a top row there. You can sleeve these guys up. I got one for each of this there. And then we'll do a bottom row as well. Top row there. Okay.
I'm gonna learn today.
So of note, like the middle
is sensitive.
Now that seems like the easiest thing to block. If I'm thinking about a sword fight, right? I guess is it a
Well, the middle can be blocked by all of these generic blocks.
Oh, right. That solves my problem.
Yeah.
I have nothing more funny to say. Just took the wind right out of that one.
Sorry.
Okay, block. Okay. There we go.
Nathaniel says you guys are committed. We are nothing if not committed.
Okay, it makes some sense. Let's go to the table here.
Dude, these alt art proxies are killing it.
You can see we'll be selling these promos on our website a little later on.
We really should. Be hilarious.
$1,000 a piece. We'll put them in that limited edition tin.
Dude, have you? This is as good as the Gary V NFT project. Come on.
Hardly a bar I'm looking to hold myself to.
Hand-drawn promos from the Stephen Woolley.
The mom.
Stream
mom himself.
That's right. You're gonna have to start when people are having me sign stuff in quotes, put
TC mom.
Stream mom.
And then we're just hoping that the text on all these other cards is actually meaningful to the game.
It's fine if not. Yeah. We'll know soon.
We'll know soon, won't we?
Here you go. All right, we're ready to Highland.
All right, so we've got some basic blocks. We've got all of our basic blocks here. We have 6 basic blocks. We have 9 attacks.
There's also a rule, just so you're aware, if you don't have an applicable block in hand, you can exert, discard the top 5 cards in your deck, and if you draw a block that would cover that up, you can block with it. But you're burning 5 cards.
Okay, so it's really a card burn game.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, these all look right. These all look like cards I can play.
All right. We're going to randomly decide first player, because this is what we're going to do.
Yeah, and we're not going to use the abilities on our characters.
No.
Not yet, at least. Maybe we'll get there. And I've got like a quickening thing.
Not worried about that either. But look at that art, though. Speaking of wrestling.
What's Highland? Do you have like a card like the quickening? Oh, Rana.
Mine's a wrestling ring, though. Look at that. Or a boxing ring? I don't know.
What the heck is that? What's that even? This card stock is like... This is like cut out. Like a Kinko's cut out situation.
Yeah, the printers back then were a little different.
Well, mine feels way better, though. Feel the difference in those. Like notable, right?
What happened?
Well, that's a limited edition.
Interesting. Okay. So... we're both going to draw 15.
Dylan asking the question about, did you guys just make this game?
You remember when we designed a game on the podcast?
Yeah.
The grill game?
Yeah, we did.
I love that we decided to have a podcast about, or a game about grilling.
Well, we were finding our feet, weren't we?
I bet you that game holds up.
Maybe.
Well, it makes it really easy to spot the basic attacks and blocks.
Yeah. You got your promo versions there. And then every other card we assume we can kind of play. So run me through the turn again.
Okay. Sweep phase. Clean up everything.
Okay.
The may do, must do phase. Anything on the table that was like, you may do this, you must do this, resolves during that phase of your
So
turn.
do you probably do all the may do's first? You choose all those, and then you do all the must do's.
That's right.
Okay,
That's exactly
that. I mean, given the order of those words, that seems like how it would
Then
work.
you get to the defense phase. You can play 1 defense for each attack your opponent played during the turn. Then you get to the attack phase.
1 event per turn is what you said.
The 1 defense. You can play 1 defense per attack.
Okay, and how many attacks can you send at me?
1. Unless an attack says otherwise.
Okay. Okay. And it won't because we don't have them.
I mean, we might. Like, I have this pummel. Special attack. If that special ability said
Oh.
you could attack multiple times,
Do I have
right?
special attacks?
You will, yeah. You will definitely have stuff in there.
Unless you dunked them on the proxies. What's an edge card? Do you know any idea what that is?
Yeah.
I definitely don't have any special attacks. I'm gonna have to beat you the old-fashioned way. Oh my gosh. Okay. So there are also like power blows and stuff, so that seems like some stuff that we're unfortunately gonna have to miss in this one.
Edge cards are marks with an outstretched hand. They may provide the advantage you need to win a battle. Edge cards are not special cards. Let me go next. When playing attacks, you lay them down in order from... So, when you attack, you'll go right to left.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll actually lay them facing you. So like if I played this attack. And then when you defend, you put it right side up, matching my grid.
Okay.
Right? Like, so you're blocking,
Yeah.
it has to cover up that bottom row.
Yeah, got it.
When playing attacks, you can lay them down in order. If you're modifying the attacks with edges, so you actually play an edge with an attack.
Okay.
That's how you play an edge
Can
card.
do that.
Yeah.
And then Steve Rice here saying, edge cards do not count as special cards. You can play as many as you're allowed by card text as well. So
Yeah.
I'll probably find ways to play those throughout the game.
Let's see. Do we not have a lot of these cards? I have a card called a Master's Focus.
I'm sure we don't have much to pop up because we thought we had the starter decks. So
Hmm.
we got the images for the starter decks.
We got straight
Yeah.
dunked on.
Yeah, we got dunked on by the 96 ideas. And Steve's saying may do and must do are in any order.
Oh, okay.
So we can resolve those as we want. So they could just call it the do phase.
Sweet mother of pearl. All right, hold on. I'm gonna sort my hand by type. That's gonna be a great step.
So you literally do start with 15 cards?
Oh yeah, but your hand size is gonna keep getting smaller and smaller.
Yeah, cool. Okay.
And you can't just willy-nilly get cards out of your hand, right?
Okay, John says he's uploading the new cards soon, so we might be able to show them at some point.
That's some heads up ball play initiative. Put that on the review.
Yeah, we got Aldrich. We'll just match those pictures. Luckily, that's going to be easy because we can clearly see them. Here's something I'll say about the Dragon Shields, man, since I've been using these. They do this a lot. They get dimples in them. You guys can't probably see that, but we've been testing different sleeves. I went back to the
DQ'd
classics.
from a tournament, man.
I love the classics, but they do show,
Oh yeah, they are.
like, you've got weird marks on them, right? So I guess, unless you're wondering, make your sleeves tell you what cards you have.
All right, I'm gonna walk you through a turn,
Okay.
and I'm gonna keep it real basic
Walk
for this
me-
first thing. Okay,
walk
sweep
me.
phase. I clean. There's nothing to sweep. No sweeping done. May do, must do, none are out. That's fine. Defense phase, nothing to defend, so we're gonna skip that. Attack phase. I will go ahead and play one. I'm gonna play a basic attack. I'm gonna play it on this side, and this is the bottom middle attack.
Yep, got it.
So I'm playing attack. Ability adjustment. There's nothing to adjust. Draw a discard. I'm at 14, so I will draw one card. We're gonna pass to you. Sweep phase clears.
Can you tell me what a power blow is?
Let me see it.
No, I gotta show it to you. Is it in the rules? I don't want to. I want to catch you off guard here.
If there's a number separated by a slash, this means the attack may be a power blow, and this is the damage value of the attack if it is made a power blow. Basic attacks do 2 damage, and 4 damage if made a power blow, unless otherwise stated. If no number is printed on the card, the attack is 2 damage, unless otherwise stated.
Okay.
So power blow is to make a power blow. Declare one of your attacks a power blow, then make an exertion during your attack phase. So that's the top 5. When you make an attack when you play a power blow, it does an additional 2 points of damage. You may only make 1 power blow per turn. If you make a power blow, your opponent has the right to make the next attack they play during their turn hidden. If an attack is already a power blow, you cannot make it a power blow again by making an exertion. However, you can modify a power blow into a headshot. If you have a card that must be played in conjunction with an attack that is considered a power blow, play that card first, then make a attack a power blow.
All right.
So you discard the top 5, and it becomes a power blow. But then I get to make a hidden attack.
Okay. And then you also have to power block it to block a power blow.
Is that true?
Did you see power blocks right under there?
No, but I'm going right over to my benefit, which is the hidden
I'm going to
attack.
guess you discard the top 5, same kind of situation, but we should at least read about it. Okay, let's see hidden attacks.
If you have the opportunity to play a hidden attack, you may play it face down. Your opponent will need to guess which area to defend.
Perfect.
After they have played their defense, reveal the attack. When the attack is revealed, the attacker must also close all aspects of the attack. This is one of the few instances where a player may play an inappropriate defense. If the defense is inappropriate, your opponent is allowed to exert for a better defense.
Okay.
Top 5C.
Okay.
But may not play a new defense from his hand against that attack. If your opponent does not wish to play a defense from their hand against the hidden attack, you reveal the attack and they may choose to exert for the defense instead.
Okay. All right, I get it.
All right, power block.
Power block.
To make a power block, declare which of your blocks you are making a power block, then make an exertion during your defense step. You may only make a power block. You play a power block against an attack that is a power blow.
Right.
You may play a block against a power blow and not make it a power block, but you take 2 damage.
Right, so just it removes 2.
If a block is already a power block, you cannot make it a power block again. If you have a card that must be played in conjunction with a block that is considered a power block, play the card first. Then you may do a power block.
Okay, I'm with it.
There's also something weird about you can't attack where your opponent attacked.
Is that true? I believe it, because we attack before we block, or we block before we attack.
You block and then you attack.
Okay.
Let me see.
Okay. So they were introducing mechanics in the stuff that we have. Yeah. Oh my gosh. This is a great card. Can you tell me one more thing? And then I think I have all the information I need to play this game well. The little number in the top right, have you seen these before?
Mm-hmm.
What are those numbers?
I think that means how many copies can be in the deck.
For real?
Yep.
It's not like a cost?
I don't think so.
Okay.
There are no resources, my dude.
Wow. It's not like discard cards to play it or something.
Yeah.
Okay. You cannot attack an area you just blocked.
There it is.
Okay. So it comes to me, phases.
Sweep phase.
Nothing to sweep.
May do, must do.
May do, must do. Also known as the do phase.
Defense phase. So now you can defend this attack.
Yeah. So I'm gonna block it with a bottom right block.
Yep.
Which covers up the square that you have attacked me with.
Okay. Then attack phase. You can play 1 attack.
Okay.
But you can't attack any of the areas you just blocked. Perfect. So this will stay here, but you'll turn it.
And I have an additional. I have an event.
An edge card.
Power blow. Play this card in conjunction with an attack. You do not need to make an exertion to make it a power blow.
Okay. Well. Okay. So then you get to the ability adjustment phase. So any attacks that had basically gone through would adjust your ability down.
Yeah, but no, you
didn't happen.
Get wrecked.
So then you can draw back up to your hand size.
But I can discard down first.
No, you can discard down to your number.
Oh, I'm stuck on the cards in my hand.
Yep.
2, 3, 4, 5, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And what happens if we get to a point where we don't have any attacks or blocks? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Apparently, this card I used as a proxy is like devastatingly good.
13, 14.
Well, once you run out of deck, you'll reshuffle,
15.
lose 5 ability, and rinse and repeat.
Okay.
So, watch your health. Watch your buckets.
I'm watching the buckets.
All right, hold on a second.
And if you block this without exerting, you take 2, right? You've got to exert 5 off the top to make it a power block.
If I don't block at all, I take 4.
That's right. Yeah. And exerting is just simply discarding 5 off the top, right? That's the idea. Okay, I guess our decks are kind of relevant, so I'm gonna put it here. And Christopher's saying you can exert for an attack or block if need be. So you can always, discard 5 and probably pick an attack up from one of those.
Yeah. All right. So start of my turn, I'll sweep. So this, you successfully block this attack. So this will go to my discard pile. Your block will stay here.
I have 1 extra card.
Cheater. Okay, may do, must do. I have nothing to do. Defense phase. So I'm going to play a block here with an edge card called Feint.
What does it say?
Play in conjunction with a block. You may have this block cover an additional adjoining area on the grid for the remainder of the defense phase. Okay. So I'm going to have it cover this corner here.
So you feint it, yeah.
Yeah. And then I will go ahead and exert as a power block.
Okay.
So discard 5. And then...
And now it's a power block.
Now I'm power block.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, tit for tat.
We'll get to the attack phase.
I feel like a control player here with all these cards in hand, right? Is this what it feels like?
Then I'm going to play a Killer Precision. Special attack. This attack cannot be blocked or dodged. This attack does 3 damage if successful and cannot be a power blow.
What do you mean if successful? I can't do anything about it.
You might have a card that would like...
Oh, hold on. Let me see if I got any cancels.
Now we're
I
highlanding.
actually have that exact thing.
Now we're highlanding.
Mythos question mark Mythos situation. Wait, I think I have to play a situation. No, it says discard this card to counter a persona-specific special card as it is played.
So,
do I have to put that out first?
Situations are cards that come into play. Let me make sure.
You better watch yourself. You know I've got it coming in.
Special cards. Events, situations, locations, plots, objectives are all considered special cards. You can play 1 special card a turn. So
you just did. You got your special attack.
That's right.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So that actually takes up my attack and my special for the turn.
But edge cards I can play whenever, right?
You play that with an attack or a block. Like I played this one with it.
Yeah, this one, but those all say play it when you play a block or an attack. I've got some that don't say that. More than 1. Beginning of your turn. Okay, so situations are like locations and stuff that are out there. And objects you probably play out. Mm-hmm. And you can play any number of those?
No, you get 1. So special cards include events, situations, locations, plots, and objects are all considered special cards. You can only play 1 special card per turn and only during your defense/attack phases.
Okay.
Oh, Steve's saying special cards aren't special cards.
What?
So if it says special attack, it doesn't count as a special card. So I still get to play 1 of those, which I will.
Can I dodge this?
It says you cannot block or dodge it. No.
Well, I covered that one, didn't it?
So I'm going to play Anne. It's a situation. If your opponent played more than 1 attack last turn and you were able to prevent their last attack from damaging you, you can discard this card to prevent all damage done to you by all other attacks this turn.
So you get 1 of those a turn you get to play, and then you play your attacks and all of that.
Yep.
Is it played in the may do, must do phase, or is it just played in the ether whenever you want to play it?
This is you may. I may discard this.
Yeah, so like when do you play it onto the board though?
During your attack or defense phase.
Okay, anytime.
Yep.
Anytime. Okay. Okay. All right.
Ready Netty says, I love the crazy 90s moxie of just having people's introduction to the game be draw 15 and have reams of text on those cards.
Just nothing but text.
Yeah. Just dive right into the deep end, man.
Okay, are we ready for me to sweep?
So I get to the end, I need to draw back up. Okay. So I drew back up.
Okay. Now I'm sweeping. So these all go away, right? I swept?
Yep.
That's correct. Okay. Discarded. All right. I see. I don't have any dues. Then I can play out 1 card. I'm going to play the Mythos situation. Mythos? Mythos. I'll put it
by a character or something.
over here.
Yeah.
This looks like that one, Ron Perlman.
Who's that?
It's sad.
See the cooking guy?
Nope.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's the guy, right? He was around in the 90s, I guess.
Yeah, he was.
So I can only play one of any card that isn't an attack or block, basically, right?
Zach McCall saying it is Ron Perlman.
Is it really, though?
Yeah, it really is.
Oh, my God. He hasn't changed at all.
No, I literally, you were like, it's Ron Perlman, and I have no idea who that is, but I know exactly who that is when I see him. Yeah.
Wow. He really has looked the same for a long time.
That's good for him, man.
That's pretty crazy.
He got the Tree of Life situation going.
Okay, wait a minute. And Mythos cards are not special cards, right? Is it on the list of special cards?
Mythos? That's your character.
Okay, so I can play any number of those that I want, right?
Well, it depends.
Well,
what kind of card is it?
It's an event. Oh, I can only play one of these.
There it is.
Hold on. All right. Pick up Mythos. It says it underneath there.
Woo! I'm glad we finally got here. But it's, you know what is crazy? It's easily nowhere near the bottom of the throwback list so far.
No way, man. It's already better than most.
I'm having a great time doing this.
I'm going to take an extra shot at you. Play an additional attack this turn. If you make any more than one attack, your opponent cannot play a new defense for this attack unless that defense is from an exertion. So basically, you can defend the first one. You can't defend the second one unless you exert 5.
Okay.
You feel me on that? What are you looking at your card text like it matters? What does that mean? What does that do?
Remember,
Should I be aware of that?
I told you about and it said if your opponent played more than one attack last turn,
I stepped right into it.
And you're able to prevent their last attack from damaging you.
What do
you
I
may
do?
discard this card to prevent all damage done to you by all other attacks this turn. So basically, if you play more than one attack, I can block the second one, and it prevents damage from all the attacks.
That's okay. That's fine. Well, you got to get it off the table at some point, right?
Look at my hands. Getting close to the size of my deck.
And dodge cards are not special cards, right? You can just dodge with them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Roger Dodger.
So I'm getting my hand in a place where I can actually understand what in the world is happening here.
I'll take this opportunity to remind everyone out there, it's important to make sure that you continue drinking water throughout all activities throughout the day.
Especially when you're playing a 90s collectible card game.
Using that brain, getting that intensity going. You need to just remember, if you hide your brain, you'll hide real life.
Okay. All right, so these are cards that I can only play one of a turn in my hand. Anything you need to know about treachery cards, or I need to know about treachery cards?
Treachery? I can Google it for you.
That's fine.
Joseph, I feel bad. It's not easy playing with just these cards.
We've been through worse.
Oh, well, these were special mail-in sets. Steve writes, yes, these are not optimal.
Play this card at the beginning of your turn for the remainder of your team. Ignore the effects of any number of situations. Oh, hold on a second. Watch this. I'm going to start by playing a Master's Focus. I'm going to play this card at the beginning of my turn. For the remainder of my turn, I may ignore the effects of any number of situations. Oh, that doesn't work. I want it to be on your turn. I ignore your situations. Dang. I thought I had an out.
Thanks, Joe. Saying that I nailed the promotional sponsorship thing.
You may play one over as if it was in your own.
I'm mildly nervous every day that what I'll get in the mail is a cease and desist.
Play this card at the beginning of your turn. Okay, so we've got 2 of those. Okay, these are the same card. All right, get ready to party.
Can you tell me the difference between these 2 pictures?
Here comes attack and attack.
Floop them.
Like this? Why do we do it like that?
Because my grid has to match up to it as the blocker.
You can't, like, imagine you're upside down? It's not terribly complex. It's a grid, right?
Dude, I would be so easy to make a mistake.
Dude, it's a grid. Okay, done. Complete. And I can't do anything about this, so cool.
So then we get to the agility adjustment phase. You're going to take 3 damage.
And I go down to 12 here.
Yep.
And then I discard down to 12?
No, that's your new hand size, yes.
I have 12.
You stay exactly where
no
you're
harm,
at.
no foul.
Over to me. Sweet face. This will clear out. Thanks for playing. This will clear out. Thanks for playing.
That card felt like a complete joke. Just told me I can't block? Well,
somehow I found the burn deck.
What's a sword fight that I can't block?
I mean, I'm just too powerful. Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and use this Annie. May do. If I cover up this attack, then I cover up all your attacks.
Okay. But you can't. Wait a minute. Hold on. I've got an idea. Yeah, that's fine.
Which one did you play first? That's an important question.
Which one can you not block?
I can't tell you that.
I'll do a little. This will be evens. This will be odds. Evens. So this is my second attack.
Okay. I'm going to play an event called Flashback. You remember a situation in the past similar to this one. You may discard up to 5 cards from your hand and draw 5 cards to replace them.
Cool. That's good.
So let's just...
You don't have to play that on the table first. You play that from hand. Right?
Yeah, that's an event. So I'm just going to do this. I'm going to discard these 5. And draw 5. And I played my 1 special card of the turn.
So you're digging for blocks here.
Yeah.
You're not going to find any.
All right. And then to block this one, I have to exert, right?
Is that true?
Isn't that what you said?
Yeah, your opponent cannot play a defense for this deck unless that defense is from an exertion. So you got to exert 5 and find it off the 5 that you discard, I think.
Wait, say it again?
It says, unless it's off of an exertion, which makes me think you discard 5 and then it has to be in the 5 you discarded. Does that make sense to you? Rather than exert and then play 1 from hand?
I have to exert and hope.
Doesn't it feel that way, though? I see some white slips on the top of your deck. You're in a good spot here.
I will attempt. All right, I'm going to attempt to exert here.
Steve, let us know if that's right. If it says a new defense unless that defense is from an exertion.
First card.
Oh, come on. This is why I
Christopher saying that's correct. Yeah. Just lucky as a duck.
Lucky as a ducky.
I've always said that.
Okay, so you blocked the whole suite because of Anne.
She's great. Look at that. We're Highlanding now.
Yeah.
Now I gotta play an attack. Huh. I like this McLeod guy.
If it says I can't block or dodge, I'm going to leave the game.
I'll be right back. All right, check this out. I'm gonna play leg sweep. This attack cannot be blocked. If this attack is successful, your next attack this turn cannot be dodged, and your opponent loses all standing defenses. Play an additional attack this turn. You may play this attack even if you're disarmed. This attack does 0 damage. So I'm playing there.
A special attack that is not a special card.
That's right. I played my event. That's the one thing I did. Then I'm gonna play Pummel. No, that's a bad play. It's just a bad play. Let's back this up. Let's back this train up. I'm just going to play Pummel. Special attack. This attack cannot be blocked. It can be dodged. And that's why I do that. Hold on. No, that's right. If this attack is successful, your opponent must discard the top 6 cards from his endurance. This attack only does 1 damage if successful. Then we'll go to the adjustment phase. I was able to cover this up.
Yeah.
So I take none. Then we go to the draw discard. I draw 2, and it's over to you.
Okay. Sweep. I'm done with these garbage cards. I'm gonna play the Methos situation. Get myself ready for this. Methos?
Apparently that leg sweep card I played.
Mm-hmm.
If you play that and then you have the Master Headshot, which is one of the things I proxied over, they can't block it, and the Master Headshot is the card. So it's like the assassination combo.
Well, that's seems pretty good.
I don't know if there's a way to stop it. I think you can dodge it.
Okay. Okay. And then
Someone's saying Pummel from Arsenal Classic.
yeah, an absolute classic. Can't get away from it. So this is my 1 special card of the turn, so I can get away from this stuff.
And really paid out there.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't have any situations in play, right?
Nope.
All right, well, I'm just going to play this dodge. Back away. It doesn't avoid ranged attacks. And then I can only make ranged attacks on my turn.
Okay.
So I backed away from your pummel.
Yeah. So these will stay here.
Yeah. And then I can't make any attacks but ranged attacks, which I don't have.
Oh,
So I won't attack you at all.
All right, cool. You draw back up.
And then I draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I draw 2.
All right, I'm gonna sweep these away. We're back at it. All right, nothing to block. Let's see if I have any specials I want to play. Ooh, Deborah. I feel like he has a lot of lady friends. Well, this card is in play.
Maybe we should watch the movie.
It's a show.
It's like a TV show?
I think so.
Ah, cool.
While this card is in play,
We're too young.
No, nothing.
We're just slightly too young.
While this card's in play, your opponent must discard a block from his hand for each block he plays.
Oh, wow, gross. So if I can't do that, I can't play a block?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Or maybe, I don't know. I think that would have to be true.
Yeah, probably true.
Then I'll play a belligerent attack, which is middle left attack. If this attack is unsuccessful and is still in play during your next sweep phase, you may place this card into your hand instead of your discard pile. Standard attack, 2 damage.
And is still in play during your next sweep phase. You place a card into your hand. Okay, so just a 2 damage attack there.
Yeah, I'm going to draw 2.
Okay, fine. Fine. What does Deborah say? Your opponent discard. Okay, yeah, okay. Fair enough, fair enough.
Over to you. Sweep.
Sweep the back away. I back in. Then we go to the onesies.
Zach saying, Zach, my God, the series is really good. It's free on Prime / IMDb. The first season is just okay, but starting the second season improves quite a bit. Avoid the last season.
Will do.
Nothing like a show that can't stick a landing. Game of Thrones, am I right? Star Wars movies, am I right? Man, they crash landed into the asteroid. It's hitting the planet.
Yeah, they did it.
Both of them. 2019, not a great year for my fictional universe.
Yeah, didn't do well, did it?
Avengers ended nicely.
Okay. During attacking or defending, I can play any of these cards. All right, let's start with an Immortal Research Edge card. Look at your opponent's hand. You can play one legal card from their hand as if it was in your own.
Disgusting.
You're going to play one of these per turn.
Good luck.
Gosh, it's like your whole deck
15
here.
card hands is wild. Let's redesign this thing. 5 card hands max. Every card can attack and defend.
Non-range attack that can't be blocked. Be a power blow with no exertion. Your opponent must discard a block from hand for each block he plays. What?
Deborah seems good.
You've got all these attacks, dude. I have nothing but basics in mine.
I came to party.
That's stupid. You may ignore it. Yeah. So we both have the counter their stuff card. On the dodge.
Covered in hay.
5 or less cards. Draw 5. What? Force of will? Come on.
I agree, Joe. An asteroid ending would have been a better ending to both of those things.
In place of a
Middle of the movie, just boom. Game over. Can you imagine if Thrones, end of the season, big fights building, about to happen, and then their whole place just gets hit by an asteroid and they'll die?
Yeah. I can believe that. So if I can't discard any blocks from my hand, I can't block. Is that what that Deborah says forever?
As far as I know, that's
yes,
great.
that's what it is. So of the 6 blocks in my hand, one of which I've already played. I have 5 left. So I get to block a couple of times through the deck there. Okay.
Unless you have a card that gets rid of Deborah.
I'm going to play Force of Will out of your hands.
Let me see if Situation is only for a round.
Draw a card. Do you sweep them? You can't sweep them.
They may remain in play over many turns.
Here's your Force of Will. You got it.
You playing it?
Yeah, I played it as me from you. So I drew a card.
Okay. We're looking for blocks.
Yeah, we don't have them. what we're going to do instead, though, is we're going to do no blocks, and then we're going to do an attacky right down the middle. We're going to exert to make it a power attack. However, I'm going to play my 1 per treachery event here. Instead of discarding 5 cards from the top of my endurance when making an exertion to make a power blow or a power block, discard them from your opponent's endurance instead. So if you would discard 5 for me, and I'm making this into a power blow.
Ouch. Okay. All right. Over to me.
Yes, so this is now ultra powerful. I'll give it an extra thing there. And then we go to where I take damage, right?
So I sweep first. You didn't cover this up, so
I take 2.
it is successful. So you take 2.
Yeah. I strategically allowed it to be successful.
Then may do's, wants to do's, must do's. Defense. So I'm going to play this prime block. I can play this block against non-ranged attacks. This may be a power block with no exertion. Your next attack this turn may be a power blow with no exertion. So,
oh yeah?
Yeah, I'll just play this here attack as a power blow, and then let me play a special card real quick. Let's get another Ann out here. Thanks for playing. Over to you.
Wait, does this prime block a special? Hold on. Yeah, I'm gonna counter that. Get wrecked. Methos. Discard it to counter persona-specific special cards as it is played. It's not special. Is it special? It looks special.
Depends on which definition of special we're using.
It's persona-specific for sure, but maybe special needs to be like a situation or a...
Yeah. Wait, what's it do?
It cancels it.
Well, you can cancel Deborah.
No, it's when you play it, though.
Oh, you can cancel Ann.
What's she do?
If you attack multiple times and it blocks the last one, it covers all the damage.
That's fine.
Okay.
Okay, now we come back to me. No damage was done here, right?
Yep. I prime blocked it.
Swept. And then we got a block here, but if I don't have any blocks in hand, it's kind of pointless to exert, right? Because I have to discard 1 to use it. So,
yeah.
You got me.
It's a power attack.
Yeah, you did it. Congrats. And then I don't have any attacks. So what do I can exert to find one? Is that right?
Yep. Top 5, YOLO.
And I'm going to play a Methos. Methos. And then...
apparently police cards eliminate situations.
Oh, yeah. They're known for that.
I like that these relationships are referred to as situations. He got an attack, ladies and gentlemen.
He got an attack. I'm going to exert to make it a powerful attack.
Yeah, that's right. Okay.
And then I'm going to pass the turn.
All right, we're going to sweep. This is going to
Take
resolve.
4?
Take 4. Call me in
And discard
the
down
morning.
to 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
I think you only do that at the end of your turn, though.
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
What's a MasterCard? You scan it? What's a MasterCard, though, for real? Steve saying the Highlander community is still alive, still playing in Kansas City.
Wow. MasterCard. Let me find it. Apparently we now have card pops.
All right. Okay, I can get in there. Get in here. What are you looking at?
Card grades.
Kansas City was the home of the Highlander TCG. If you can believe it.
Master. It's any card with Master in the title.
Oh,
easy as that.
I've got them. I've got a lot of them.
Easy as that.
Okay. What now?
I'm gonna play.
Take care, Steve.
I'm gonna play this Inner Strength. When making exertions, discarded cards come from my hand instead of my endurance.
That's nice.
You must have enough cards in your hand to fulfill the exertion of you, or you may not exert.
Okay. It's an edge card, which is not a special card.
So I have to play it when I attack. Hold on.
Well, no, you can play edge cards whenever. That's what Steve said. You can play them whenever.
I'm going to play a leg sweep. This cannot be blocked. No, I don't want that.
It already can't be blocked.
Oh, yeah.
It can't block anything.
But then it says, if successful, so you could dodge it. Your next attack this turn cannot be dodged, and your opponent loses all standing defenses. Play an additional attack this turn. You may play this attack even if disarmed. If this attack does 0 damage. So basically, you can't block this one, and if this works, then the next one can't be dodged.
But it's all during your turn.
Well, they resolve after you've had a chance to block or not. They won't resolve till my turn.
So you do an additional one now, yeah?
So I'm going to play an attack, and then I'm going to do the exertion.
Well, hold on. Let me, additional attack, you may play that you, yeah, okay, that's fine.
Yeah, so I'm going to do 5 from hand instead, because of Inner Strength. And then that'll be the end of my turn. So it's over to you. We sweep here. So you're actually going to hit me for 4.
Yeah, you take 4 there.
And then it's going to clear. And then it's back to you.
And tell me what Blocky McBlock says over there.
This thing?
Yeah.
While this card is in play, your opponent must discard a block from his hand for each block they play.
Okay. And I would have to block this one and then block in order to be able to block this one.
This can't be blocked, but it can be dodged. So basically you have to dodge this one.
And then block that. Okay,
block
cool. Where you got a little dance going on.
Yeah.
A little dance. Okay.
And this is a power attack.
Did you play any events that turn? Anything? You play the thing where you can...
That's an
edge card. Just asking.
You got that control cancel.
I'm just asking. Okay, for my... For my card of the turn, given as I don't have anything, face damage, yeah, so that's not really going to matter, isn't it? Power blows, your busy, your pad, your shuffle on, yeah, okay, additional, okay. Well, let's start by playing flashback situation. And then
what's that do?
No, I can make I can discard it if I need 3 more cards on an exertion. So I can go to 8. Basically.
That's really cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
Look at those. Just that team.
Yeah, the Bugatti right there. So then my next play is I'm going to exert for an attack. This blocking situation is impossible. Is this a power attack?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Exertion ahoy. 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll take that. I'll make it a power blow with this power blow card.
Mm-hmm.
And let the aggro decks commence. Now I'll discard down to 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Probably don't need to play an additional attack here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that's that.
All right. Well, resolve my attacks. You didn't cover this up. You didn't cover this up, so you'll take 4.
Take 4. My head is nearly removed from my body.
Then blocking phase. This is not good.
Yeah, I'm gonna do this one this time.
Interesting.
It's an unplayable card. They're in location. There aren't even locations in here, are they? No, they're not. Yeah, you like getting wrecked? That's gonna do how much damage to you when you reshuffle?
5.
Someone's gonna be at 2 like me.
Bad.
And then the game gets very interesting, doesn't it?
All right. I'm gonna play nothing.
Yes. Who's laughing now, Duncan?
Then I'm gonna go ahead and draw, losing 5, and then now I'm at my hand size as well.
Right on.
Aaron H, we'll have a full recap in a second.
And then you take 4 also?
Oh yeah. I had to draw more cards. I had no attacks left. Although, yeah, if I don't die, you're gonna die soon. You're gonna have to discard down to 2 now too. It's gonna get very precarious for everybody involved here.
Dude, I'm good.
I'm excited to talk about this after it's over.
So, okay, then you take, so you got on to 2.
Yep.
And then I sweep.
Yep.
Sweep these guys up.
Mm-hmm. Might hope I have a block.
And then, what's your card? What do you, oh, because you go to 6.
At the end of my turn, I'll go back down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that timing, that's important.
Yeah, that seems good.
Appreciate that, Joe. We might take you up on it. We're going to be throwing back for a long time. I say that.
Okay, let me see if there's any master cards here that matter.
Charge it.
I'm playing the game. I'm playing the game. Okay, the master cards there that matter. See if there's any in here. Let's just get it over with. No master cards in there. Yikes.
In your deck?
Before I search my deck, I may as well look and see.
You don't want to waste your time. Zach, it is a little bit like a mix between Fab and Anachronism in a weird way.
Funny. Very funny. I've got a long ball here. Question. If I can play an additional attack this turn and I exert and see 2 attacks in that exertion, can I play both of them? Or do I have to exert for each attack I want to make?
I think you have to exert. I think you can only exert once per turn.
Well, it would be more fun if I could do it the other way, though.
I don't disagree with you.
So if I exert for an attack, I can't also make it a power attack. Although it doesn't matter now, I guess. Does it? Well, it would. Yeah, if you can't power block it, I guess. Which you would, because exertion doesn't matter here. Okay. Okay. I'm going to play 1 card from the exertion, says Steve. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Chat's on it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So I may as well play something, I guess. Continuity. Method situation. I'm using my opponent's force against them. The next 3 defenses I play may block power blows without an exertion. This is a standing defense. Discard after the 3rd defense is played. Of course, with Deborah, it's a bit of a problem, but we can get around it. And then we have exert for an attack here, right? If you're a smart person.
That's an option. Don't go discarding your deck. awfully thin over there.
I gotta put something on the table for game. Let's go.
You do.
And I discard down to 2.
It's getting precarious, friends. All right, over to me.
Yeah.
Sweep. Did it. May do, must do's. I'm going to play a card at the start of my turn, actually.
Okay.
Play this card at the beginning of your turn. A Master's Focus. For the remainder of the turn, you can ignore the effects of any number of situations in play. Flip those cards face down to remind yourself that they
all
have
these
no effect.
situations
Those are all
that
face
I
down.
said.
Yeah, those are all
well,
face
that's
down.
just a 1 card. Hello. What does this one say? More than 1 attack, so none of that matters, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's a bummer.
Then we'll get to the defense
I figure
phase.
using those would have been really nice.
I'll put this block here,
Mm.
and then I'll go ahead and attack you here.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll pass over to you. I have to discard down to 2. And then we'll pass it over to you.
It doesn't look good, does it?
So
How do I? Is there a way to draw cards, or any way to get cards in my hand?
use them?
That's it.
Those
So
come back to you, by the way.
If I can't use cards, I can't ever draw cards. I'm already losing if I can't use cards, right? So what does it matter?
Yeah, that. Oh, if your opponent doesn't attack, you can discard a block.
Nice.
I don't know if there's any other special
Nice.
rules.
I can't like discard and then draw up to hand size. That never happens.
I don't think so.
It says discard draw phase. Come on.
Yeah, let's look.
Is an attack an event? Asking for a friend.
And do attacks resolve during the sweep phase? We've kind of been doing that. I think that's right. All right, you must discard down or you may draw up during this phase. At the beginning of this phase, you must resolve all the effects that occur during the draw discard before drawing or discarding. You cannot play cards during this phase. Then if you have more cards in your hand than your ability, you must discard down. Your maximum hand size is your ability, plus or minus any modifiers. When discarding down, these cards are immediately placed in your discard pile.
Okay.
If fewer cards in your hand than your ability, you may draw one at a time. After you completed drawing up and or discarding cards, your turn is over, etc.
Okay. So we're stuck. And this happens immediately if I exert, you know.
You'd only lose at the end of your turn. But
Really?
you don't resolve the attack either.
That's a problem.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a card in here that does like an instant 2 damage or something.
That's might be true.
Not likely. Well, I'm gonna exert. I'm gonna go out with a bang here. Let's sweep the attack. You got me. You got me. Exert a trip. There's another attack. There's a block. What was I even? I was exerting for an attack, I think, basically. All right. Well, I'm sending one back at you as I die.
All right. Over to me.
Yeah.
We sweep. This clears. You take 2.
Dead.
And you die.
Whew. Okay. I get it. I feel like it's pretty.
Oh,
pretty
apparently attacks resolve during the defense phase.
Okay. So then at the end of your turn, always, if you've taken damage that turn, you go down to that hand size.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Totally fair. Hey, you know, for having to get slips of paper for basic attacks and defenses, that played just fine.
Yeah, I mean, I actually totally get it. I have a lot of weird... There's a lot of 90s things going on in this game, right? I'm just going to read my ability really quick now that I know how the game works. You can attack the areas you just blocked. If you make a power blow, your opponent's next attack during their next turn cannot be hidden. You can have up to 6 master cards in your deck.
Okay. And then I've got, I begin the game with +1 ability. That's significant because I feel like the 4 and 2 split and the 5 for the recycle kind of gets you on the 1 extra turn. This card modifies your persona, obviously. And then I've also got, opponent must discard a special card to play a watcher card. There's that. And then we got the quickening. Here we go. Look at this. This is what I need. At the beginning of your turn, discard up to 2 cards from your hand and replace them from your endurance.
So check this out. Play this card before the game begins. If you lose your head, your opponent takes this card. So if they finish you
like
that
a trophy?
way, yeah, like the Pokemon take their card thing.
Oh, let's go.
And then it says, if forced to discard from your hand, you can choose to place any or all of those cards back on the top of your endurance.
Wait. So does that mean the card that says you can exert from hand would go to the top of deck? That would be obviously a degenerate deck type already.
Yeah,
you already know people were playing that.
See it now. Here's things I want to say about this game. You want to go top down?
Yeah, sure. Or
I
front up, bottoms up.
I totally get it. I think if you're into this theme in 1996, this is super appealing.
This is kind of really fun, right? It's one of these games that's just kind of fun.
It's got the fun.
Yeah,
it's fun in like the trick taking card game way.
It's got the fun.
Not like I would be curious how serious constructed can get.
Oh, dude, you can tell by the way the cards are written that it can be totally busted.
Because like when we're playing at this point, it's kind of just like
stuff,
does he have the card or not? It's like, it reminds me a lot of playing pitch.
Some serious decks.
Classic game in my family. You throw down the 3, it's worth 3 points, and whoever plays the highest card gets to keep those points. You're on the team from the person across from you. So a lot of times you have to play it when you play it. And you're playing it, and then you just have that tension where it's going around to see who has the high card, right?
Can they block me or not?
Yeah, you had the king. Like, it's not like that was necessarily a skill that you had the king, but like it just happened.
Yeah,
I think the same here where it's like, I put this attack out. Sometimes you're going to have it, sometimes you're going to not. And as we're taking damage, our hand sizes are getting tighter and tighter. The two like concerns for me with this game, if it were actually being remade or like just in general, your resource and your options get lower as you're losing.
It certainly seems like a bit of a snowball factor, huh?
Yeah. So if you could just get snowballed so bad in this, because once you're on like 3 cards, your opponent's at 10. There's no way.
Yeah, you're done.
But the deck cycling costing you 5 means that I think everyone's probably going to hit a 5 at some point in the game, and so like that is actually what got you. It felt like I was way ahead, and then all of a sudden it was like, if I draw any more cards, I'm taking 5.
Yeah.
And so anyways, that's interesting. The other thing is, literally, someone mentioned it earlier, but like starting the game with 15 cards is crazy. The game actually gets simpler as the game goes on.
It gets, which I like better.
Because you're on like 2 cards. So I could easily see kind of a fab adjustment where it's like, every card can attack and block. Start there. And then cards also have text that make them unique, right? You can play them as a person. You can play them as a thing.
Wasn't there a game that did that recently that we maybe threw back to where like you can block with the card and it was almost a positional block? I don't know. It's been a year and a half, 2 years, so who knows? So that would be an interesting thing, right? That would fundamentally change the game in a crazy way. But you don't have to dig for your attacks.
If you had 5 card hands and every card could attack and block.
But then you got the exertion mechanic is my favorite mechanic in this game.
Very cool.
So it's like that press your luck thing that is also contributing to your losing game state.
Yeah.
I like it. I like that exertion. So that needs to stay in. I mean, that's a great mechanic.
Yeah. Well, and you can imagine, like, I don't know. If you had more ready access to attacking and blocking, you're going to hit and miss when you can hit and miss. But making sure you can always attack.
That seems fairly
interesting.
Yeah.
And maybe not every card blocks, but every card definitely attacks. But even then, it's like, you still have to have the right block.
Yeah.
So like you could make it where instead of like a whole row or a whole section, it's like it's 2 spaces.
How many blocks and attacks were in a standard Highlander deck though? This is a good question. Also, Steve saying this is so funny. By the time these 2 decks were released, this game was totally broken. Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't take much on a game.
I mean, that's what I said by it's got 90s things.
Yeah.
I can see certain things happening and it's like, oh, this is Wild West. Like,
yeah.
It's like we can put it on a card, so we're going to print it.
It's like we've got an idea for the way that this would work thematically. We put it on the card. It gets out there into the world. There's not like a programmatic, algorithmic design philosophy here. Things don't have points, and we're not assigning things in a controlled way. It's just, we'll throw it out, send it to playtesting for a few weeks, right. And then you print it. Yeah. And
that's, if you really love Highlander, like this is a fun game.
If you had 2 really well balanced, or like 6 really well balanced decks, 4 really well balanced, just throw them down and have a good time with it.
It would be fun. I will say, knowing nothing about the theme, having never played, working through the rules, there's interesting mechanics here, and it was fun. I had fun.
Yeah, and not all throwbacks are fun. Let me tell you. All right, well, thanks so much for joining us for this. That was a wild one.
We made it.
We made it. We did some proxies. We kind of got through it. So if you're learning Highlander and you've got an actual starter deck, I'm sure it's probably a little easier.
That's another thing. Don't put a starter deck in a box or a non-starter deck in a starter deck box. You know what I mean?
It was a non-starter deck in a starter deck box in a collector's tin. Beautiful.
Welcome to 1996.
Beautiful idea. But hey, you know what? We got here. The whole industry evolves from a place. It's not like dogging on the 90s or anything. Zach and I are hugely into most of these older card games and card game systems. People learn, and now that we're in the 2020s, there's a lot of growth that's happened, right? The starter decks are way more approachable. The rule sets are way more clean and intuitive. But even with all of that, there's some special magic. It's just like how animation versus in the 80s versus now, it's like, oh, it's technically cleaner and like better.
Yeah, but
there's a charm to like the craziness of what was going on when things are getting started.
You just
right?
watch like Beauty and the Beast or Bambi or
Biker Mice from Mars.
I pulled up a clip the other day from another one of my favorites as a child, The Brave Little Toaster.
Oh, I forgot about that one.
And there's just something.
I haven't thought about that one in a while.
About that, you know, Aladdin, etc., etc.
Yeah. And then Steve's saying there's a second edition of the game, so
apparently
that's interesting.
Steve was working on it.
Okay,
he was a part of it back in the day.
Well, if you want that, check that out, everybody. Check out that second edition and call up Kansas City.
Right.
They're still
playing.
playing.
Kansas City on the phone.
They're still playing. All right, hey, we'll catch you next week. What are we got a throwback next week?
Next week, you're not gonna believe it.
Tomb Raider.
The Tomb Raider CCG. Let's go. See you next week.
Take care, everybody.